Okay folks, this is about take 20 here. Okay, let me get to what I'm trying to do here and hopefully this camera will stay on. This is our cylinder we're using. This is our cylinder that we're not using on this one anyway. Okay, bought these things from the same seller at 2 different times. When I bought it, I went ahead and he assumed and I assumed that they were original bore, and you know, assuming's not smart. So anyway, I noticed that piston was a little bit loose in it. It should have been a little bit tight, and but I'm going to do some more checking. But both of these cylinders have been overboard 20,000. And when I was cleaning them up, I'm going to see if I can get this to show. It's got a 20 marked on it, and I'm thinking that's the date, 5/7 of 64 and 20 thousandths. And then I cleaned the other one, and it's got the same number, same date. Let me see if I can get around to it. Let me see, 5/7 of 64, but it's got 10 thousandths on it over on this side. And I went ahead and mic'd it, and it's bored 20. So I'm wondering if they just didn't make a mistake on the stamping, but they're both exactly 20 thousandths over, and they're not in terrible shape. They need a little bit of honing, but so I'm probably going to have to reorder a piston. It's only a $20 piston, so it's not that big of a deal. We'll just go a little bit bigger. I went 70 millimeter, so a 70.25. So we'll see what's next available and go from there. But we're getting it cleaned up. It's kind of an aggravation, and I'm thinking this could be the original build date of 46. And don't, you know, quote me on that stuff, but I'm just telling you what I think. And then I'm guessing that this is the part number, and 6758. They both got that. So and now these did have covers over them, and you know, a fan to blow the air in. So we're running without covers, of course, because we're, you know, running a motorcycle. So you're not supposed to let it sit still. You're supposed to let it ride down the road. But you know, we can. This takes a little bit to get it, you know, hot anyway. But we'll, if we have to, we'll put a fan on it until we get it on something that moves anyway. Okay, I'm going to keep on cleaning on this thing and try to get it ready. I've got to get these rockers and stuff off. I've got to get the studs out of it. I've got to get the head milled how I want it. Trying to figure out how to do it and still make it look good. Don't want it to look terrible. So anyway, we're going to keep at it, and I'll show you more as I go. Okay folks, here's the rollback. I've got the cab corner on and got this welded in. I've got a lot more grinding and stuff to do before I even do any body work. But a little bit of work to do on that center post, and then of course the rocker, and get work on the hood. And hopefully this thing will be ready to paint here shortly. Okay folks, we've got all our studs in for our head, or our jug, or cylinder, whatever you want to say. Come out good. If you notice, this one's shorter, and the reason it's shorter is because it is way longer, because I went way deeper with it. I wanted to get the max out of every one of them. So anyway, that's the way it's going to be. Just gonna get it off there. Kind of a tight fit there. So you'll see I've got paper down there that I've got to take off. I actually made my pattern on a piece of paper how I wanted it, cut it out, and then I put it in the hole and glued it in. Put spray glue in there and then done it. And that way I could get it exactly where I wanted it, perfect. So we're good to go on them. I won't have to worry about any problems. Let me see. Cut on the head here, a little bit. I'm not done with that. I actually got it kind of crooked. I didn't take as much off here, but what I want to do, let me get it up here where I can show you again. Okay, I got the phase converter off where I could at least be heard here a little bit. Got all that noise in the back. Okay, I went ahead and bolted the cylinder down, and got all the nuts on it, lock washers, and I'll leave this one short until it starts bugging me so bad I can't stand it, and I'll go longer. But it might be okay the way it is. But they're on and done. Okay, we're not quite to the point, but we're about to the point where we can we can do our push rods. I've still got some rounding off on this to do, rounding off on this. I got some pieces to make for the end. I'm actually going to make them, let's just, sort of like an egg drop shape. And they'll go around here, come down, and I'll drill one hole and put one bolt in this side and one in the other side. And that'll help hold, hold this end down. And then we'll cut these off, really close, both sides. Still got to finish welding the bottom side of these and then grind them good. And drill some holes here. And of course taper them for oil. Let me see. I think everything will work out good there. Let me stick the our push rods in so you can get an idea. I'll tell you what, let me go close the door over there. Maybe we can get some of this light to quit blaring in behind us. Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. Okay, we got our push rods. I'm going to show you what they look like. There's one of them up and down. And let me see. Let's see if I can do some magic here. Two-handed. One-handed. Doing a two-handed job with one hand. Yeah. Pretty daggone straight. I mean, not bad at all. Really worked out good. They're pretty straight up and down because they're gonna, of course, they're gonna get moved in. See if I can get where you can see that. They'll get moved in so they'll be straight. Yeah, that's working out really good. I really like that. And won't be long we'll be able to get the cams in, the followers back on, and then we'll be able to cut these and shorten them and machine the ends of them like I need them. These are solid, and so that's going to work out really well. Shouldn't be any issues. With having the cylinder mounted, I can go ahead and start on my intake manifold, and I think I've got what I need to do it. And we'll see if we can get the carburetor mounted. Okay, the only other really hold up on this, and I did go ahead and order another piston, so we'll get it in here shortly. No hurry on that because we've got other stuff to do anyway. But got to do a major cleanup on this. Any of the machining work I've done, a lot of it, little steel chips and stuff I don't need to get in there. But anyway, our major holdup really is going to be our oil. I'm going to try to explain what the plan is here. I'm going to put a dipper on or a slinger, whatever you want to call it, on the rod. This turns clockwise from this side, so it's going to be angled sort of that way, and 7 o'clock position. And what we want it to do is come around, pick the oil up, and sling it. Okay. Another plan I have got is to divert the oil from the inside and come in through 2 holes, one on each side. And I see my battery's going dead on my camera. So if it goes dead, I'll run and grab another battery. So anyway, we're going to divert it in on each side and get a lot of oil in here. And what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to test this. And the way we're going to test it, we're going to put oil in it, and we'll take a drill and turn it. We'll check and see how much oil we're getting out of our bearings. We'll make a mess, but who cares, We'll get oil out of our bearings on both sides. We'll make sure that everything's working there, and we're going to make sure we're getting oil out of into our cam area. And then I'll probably, like I said, I was going to do a hole, and I still may going in, because if I don't, what's going to happen is it's going to puddle here. I want to drill in. I want it to drain all the way. I don't want a puddle sitting in the bottom. Okay, folks, I was talking about the cooling system when my battery went dead, of course, on my camera here. But what we're going to do, we're going to do some testing, and we're going to see how much oil we can get to come out, and make sure that we're getting oil out of the crankcase into the cam side over here, and we'll see how that works out. But for now, I want to go ahead and show you a Briggs & Stratton oiling system so you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, hopefully you can see this okay. Engine's upside down, so Anyway, here's the slinger, and from this side of the engine, this would have turned counterclockwise. So you see they've got it angled. They got it off this way so it can pick up oil and sling it up here, actually on the cam and the lifters and everything. But they've also got some porting in here to help get oil where it needs to be. You can see this V. Now this strengthens it up also, but you can see this V here, and then the oil runs down, and then you see a little one here, and the oil runs down. This is for the end of the cam, that's for the end of the crank. And so, you know, they've done a little bit to sort of direct the oil. But, you know, when the engine's spinning, that oil was just slinging everywhere. So, you know, it's not that hard to do. And then, let me see, the oil level, of course, if you took a Briggs, you know, oil plug out and looked, you know, oil level somewhere, you know, about halfway up that, you know, not anywhere near the crank journal or the actual main journal anyway. And you can see how low it gets. It's probably 5/16, a little over a quarter inch off the bottom. Yeah, maybe a quarter there. Well, it's a little closer than that actually. So depending on where it's at, but at the lowest point it's about almost touching the bottom. So anyway, so we'll figure out our oil level and what we want to do on that, and we'll set it up to where it'll oil good and we won't have any problems with it. You can see it's got a slot cut in it down here. I don't know if you can get in there. That's to get the oil into the other end of the cam. So pretty simple setup though. I don't, you know, not much to it. And these oiled fine, didn't have any problem. And I know people's ask about the wrist pin, and you know, it's the same way. There's no pressure lube to the wrist pin. And I've got holes at the top that any oil that's splashed will end up going in there, so that won't give a problem. Now for the rod, there's a hole here, but of course our rod is made different with a needle bearing, and there's plenty of room for oil to get in it. So I'm, you know, we're not going to have any issue there either. So I may take this slinger off. There's not much to it, and it's really thin. I'm sure it will fit in between our crank journals, you know, because we've got the counterweights on it and on the crankshaft. So I'll take it off, maybe do some modifying or build one sort of like it. But anyway, just wanted to show you, and we'll get back on the engine. Okay, we got one push rod on. I wasn't going to do them, but I just decided to for the heck of it. So let me show you what I've done on these. Maybe you can see it here. Okay, you can see in the end of it, and you can see I made a ball on the end of this. So it fits in and wobbles around real good. We don't have any binding or anything like that. So, alright, let me get this one on. Okay, we got them on. I haven't adjusted them yet. You can see a little bit of valve lashing each, a little bit more than we need, and that's a good thing because we've got plenty of adjustment either way, really. So we can do that. Anyway, good and straight. I think they'll work out good. They're lined up really good. I like it. It's about as straight as I think we could possibly get it. Eyeballing anyway. And they're pretty straight this way. So I think that's good to go. I can't turn it over yet really and open the valve because I don't have the key in the bottom gear, so it's not turning good. And somehow I throw these cams in here, not timing or anything, and it looks like I've got them both lined up on the same place. So they'd be trying to open both valves at the same time, and that wouldn't be good anyway. So anyway, oiling. You know, I've already said I was going to use a can. Put plenty of oil down in these little holes here between the lifter and the push rod. Okay, I'm going to actually take a countersink tool and countersink on this hole a little bit just to give it a little bit of an edge so I can drip some oil on each side of this with the oil can. These have got holes, so I'll be dripping from the hole in the top, That's no problem. I'm going to drill the holes in these and countersink a little bit so I can get oil there and there. And of course on these I can just put a squirt of oil and or a drop of oil. So that takes care of all that. I don't think it's going to be any problem. And I've still got a little bit of things to finish up. I got to move these in just a little bit, and which is just by making my groove deeper in this piece, which is not a problem. And then I've got to make this machine the inside of that cover so it fits on here. And everything's going to work out. Everything's working out really good so far. And there's our cover, of course. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do on it. I've got some stuff coming to do some cleaning on that. I've got the piston coming. I've got some of the 2-inch ram lock flapper discs that I don't have any of. And let me see, we've got a few other things coming, plug wire, and it's coming along good though. I think it's going to work out. And you know, I'm not getting a lot done because I've been really busy. Seems like I've been getting wrecks every night in the middle of the night for some reason. Been some pretty bad ones too. So anyway, all right. Well, we'll get back on this thing probably tomorrow. We'll call it a night. And appreciate everybody watching, and thumbs up and comment and all that happy stuff. Till next time. Bye.